This project has a big team. It has a heavy roster of artists and it has a ton of notable buyers. Let's jump in and check out Party Degenerates. First up, I want to say if you could hit up the like button, it really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, there's chapters down below so you can fast forward to the sections that you want to help you navigate the video easier. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research before jumping into the NFT space. Now, when it comes to Party Degenerates, I'm going to skip over the overview of Party Degenerates and get straight into the post-drop stats. NFT Verse did a great video on Party Degenerates, so you can actually check that out up here after you've watched this video, of course, and he gives you a good background and an overview of what Party Degenerates is. Let's jump in and have a look at the stats. Now, when you have a look at the 24-hour market overview, you can actually see that Party Degenerates comes in at number 1 with almost 7,000 ETH worth of volume, which is crazy. It's almost 50% more than Axie Infinity and Doodles. And then when it comes to the notable minters in this project, there are 142 notable minters, which is huge for this project. So when it comes down to the 24-hour volume and the notable minters in this project, you can tell that this is something special. Now let's jump over to Opensea to get a snapshot of the project. We've got 10,000 items in this project with 3,600 owners and a floor price of 0.7. Now this project hasn't revealed yet and the price floor is sitting at around that 0.8 ETH mark, but it could increase quite fast and get to a 0.9. Now jumping on over to Nansen to get the post-drop stats. What we can see here is that it was deployed 33 hours ago and you've got the 10,000 in circulation. We can see here the huge volume that happened and this day has just started, so we'd need to see a close here to see what this volume is. I would imagine it would come into 1/4 to 1/2 of the volume here. And when it comes down to the price range, there's not much we can take away from here. Now, real quick, the tool that I'm using is Nansen. I've got a link for it below. And if you want to learn how to use Nansen, which is a paid service, I've actually got a link to a tutorial up there so you can check that out after this. It is quite long, but it's a detailed look at how to use the program and how to read some of the charts. When it comes down to the individual transactions, what we can see here is that we've got a little bit of a wave. It starts off at 0.7, goes up to 0.8, it then drops down to around that sort of 0.6, it then kind of rises up to almost a 0.9. What we can see here is that the overall trend is up and it's kind of in a wave motion. Now, we can't take too much away from this here. I do imagine the floor dropping slightly when we do get to a reveal because this hasn't revealed yet. But overall, the trend looks like it's in a slight upwards motion. Now, coming over to the balances, we can see here that number 1 is Pranksy with 200. Pranksy is a notable buyer in the NFT space. He is a celebrity. And then we can see here that we've got some other huge holders. Coming down to the top balances, we've got the Party Degenerates marketing wallet with 200. Pranksy then has 200. We've then got some other collectors rounding out to around that 150. Then it sharply drops off down into the 50s. Now, usually this top heavy aspect of holders when it comes from a project would kind of worry me a little bit, but when it comes to the people that are holding, someone like Pranksy holding 200, this just shows absolute strength. And with the fact that there's almost 150 notable minters in this project, this shows absolute strength. Now, underneath Pranksy in top balances is seedphrase.eth. And if we go into their wallet, we can see what they're currently holding. And I've sorted this by value in ETH. And we can see that Neon District, Hashmasks, Meebits, MCP Land, the currency, Cool Cats, these are their current holdings when it comes to value in ETH. So you can see what they're currently holding and if this aligns with the types of NFTs that you would collect yourself, and you can kind of see if this matches what you would do, so you can then follow them, and you can see that they are very heavy on Party Degenerates. So you can see that they are triple the amount of value when it comes to ETH in their wallet. Now, when it comes down to top balances, to actually get accurate information from this, we'd need to wait for post-reveal and approximately 7 days worth of data to kind of see where it is. Same with smart money. Now, what I will say is that usually when you're bumping across, these numbers drop down to a 5 or a 6 quite fast. We are currently at 150 people own more than 10. We end up with 200 people own more than 7. We end up with 300 people that hold more than 5. Now, this means that there are a lot of people that are holding a lot, but when it comes down to it, the fact that there are some notable minters in this project and they've gone in heavy, it shows a lot of strength when it comes to the project. When we actually head over to the unique addresses, what we can actually see here is that on the mint day, it was 3,500. and we've gone up to 3,600. I typically like something around that 50% mark, but what we will have to wait for is to the reveal to kind of see where this shakes out. But overall, this isn't too odd. If this was around the 2,500 mark or 2,000 mark, then I would be a little bit worried when it comes to the project. Overall, it could be stronger, but the reveal needs to kind of shake out some of those larger holders. They're going to need to offload. Then some retail or single holders come in to pick up those NFTs for it to show a little bit more strength when it comes to the way that I like to interpret the data and the way that I like my projects. The percentage holding only one NFT is 58%. I like this when this is closer to 70%. When it comes down to the diamond hands, we can see here that almost everyone has held onto this project. There's only been about 700 people that have offloaded any of their NFTs, so they're all waiting for the reveal. Now, coming down to the profit leaderboard, here's where I think we're going to see a lot of runway. We can see here that the top profit taker has made less than 5. Then we kind of get close to a 4 and then down to a 2.2. Now I know that this project has just been released, but sometimes you're seeing large profits up sort of 10 or 20 on a project. The fact that all of these profit takers are under 5 shows that there is a lot of runway, and I do believe there is some upside when it comes to this project. It might not be upside within the next day or two, but longer term, there's a lot more runway because you should see profit takers close to that 20, 30, 50 ETH mark. The fact that this won't stay at 5 for long, and for people to actually make some flips and actually get these profits up, the price will have to rise. Now, heading over to trades, what we can actually see is where some of these addresses actually purchased in to see where a floor might come in. Now, we can see here that the top 5 buying addresses have bought in at 0.55, which at this current price point, there's about a 40% gain that they've made with the top 5 buying addresses. When it comes down to the legendary collectors, we can see a big clump around that 0.7 to 0.8 mark, and we can see that it has been increasing over time. And then when it comes to smart money, we can see that there was some huge purchases at the start, but then it's gone down to around that 0.6 to 0.8 mark. The way that I'm interpreting this data is at this current price floor of 0.77, this shows that this project is appropriately priced for where it is. You're not going to be able to snag a deal, and you won't be necessarily overpaying. You're going to be in that region where smart money and legendary money has been bought in. You'll be buying a little bit higher than those top buyers, so that's why I believe this is appropriately priced for where it currently sits. When we come down to the recent transactions, we can get an idea of the volume. When we have a look at the recent transactions, we can see that over a 1 hour period, there are approximately 25 to 30 sales. So if we head back to Party Degenerates, we hit buy now, we can see that we can get almost to a 0.87. So we can get a rise of 0.1 if no one else lists and the purchases and the volume continues to flow. So you can see here that over an hour or two, the price floor could rise from a 0.77 to a 0.9 quite easily. But this is contingent on people not listing their NFTs. So what do I think of Party Degenerates? The fact that there are so many notable minters, and they're not just minting 1 or 2, they're minting quite a lot. And the fact that the team is huge and there are some heavy artists when it comes to this shows that this project is strong, and it's not your typical 10,000 profile picture project. They've really thought about how they can make something different, and they've really drawn in some of the OGs when it comes into this space. This is the type of project that doesn't necessarily have the hype. They've got 12,000 followers on Twitter. They've got less than 10,000 people in their Discord, but they've sold out, and I see that the value of this increasing quite a lot in the future because it is such a unique and interesting project. But the fact that there are some large holders in this space and they seem like the type of people that aren't in there for a quick flip, this shows strength when it comes to this project. I don't believe it's going to 100x overnight. It's not a hype project, but it looks like something that might be a longer term hold, and it could be a legacy NFT that you would like to own. So should you buy into Party Degenerates, you need to have a look at the people that have bought into this and see if you would like to be within this space. If you own a Party Degenerates, you may be able to go to these events and mingle with the people that are actually holding this. If you want to be able to mingle and reach out to someone like Pranksy, it's going to be easier if you're holding one of the NFTs that he's holding. If you want to reach out to some of these notable owners, this is almost like a ticket to actually going to these events and mingling with these people. So that's the way that I think you should look at this. It's more than just the art, but it's the access that you can get from having one of these. So will I buy into this project? I'll be waiting for the reveal to see what happens with the price movements and see if there is a wick down, then it might be worth getting. This is the kind of project that if I could get in at around that 0.5 mark, it's the type of thing where it doesn't matter if it goes to zero. It's almost that ticket and that access to an event that could help you network when it comes to being in this NFT space, because we are very, very early, and building this network now is what is going to be your currency moving forward. Anyway, I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button. As always, it's been a pleasure having you with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.